In previous vlog, we have seen the shared preferences implementation in a login screen where we try to enter the username and password, and we will be storing these two fields and we will be providing them later the user returns back. So this is a general scenario for login process, but in this part of the tutorial we will be seeing much more with the shared preferences like storing different data types and fetching back those values. So here for which we have added a dependency shared underscore preferences, and this is the current version. You can update the version according to the latest available. So now let us get through the main.dart file here. So initializing with void main, we are considering the default class myApp here. Here we have declared shared preferences and also provided an object for it. We are initializing the object in init method here by providing an asynchronous method for it. So here we are returning a material app, and here we are removing the debug banner so that the debug tag will not be displayed on our screen here. And here we have declared a home class which is extending a stateless widget here, inside which, so here we are returning a scaffold here, so inside which we are providing the body for the design here. So here center, we have provided center so that our entire design will be available in the center of the screen. So this is it, a default design we have provided where we are adding 3 buttons and a title bar here. So these 3 buttons will do their functionalities like saving, fetching and removing, that is clearing the data. So here we are trying to save the data using an asynchronous method. So here we are waiting till the init is called so that our shared preference is being initialized properly. So without initialization we can't access the shared preferences for either storing or retrieval, right? So here we are waiting for it to get the initialization process complete successfully, and later on we are trying to store the data. Like here you can see we are storing the integer kinds of data, like 10 we are storing with the help of setInt method here. So when you tap on this particular method, you can see here that particular method implementations we can see here. So what are the parameters we need to pass here? Like we need to pass a key value, and we need to pass the value of the integer which we want to store here. So this is how we need to save a particular element that might be of any data type here. For example, you can see here this is of set int, this is of set double, string list, and we will be seeing them here in our example also here. So the first way we are storing an integer. So here we can see we are using set int, and later on set string, you can see we are storing a string value here. So here you can see we can provide any kinds of key value here. It might be capital letter, small letter, but make sure that you need to use the same value to fetch the output, which you will be seeing in coming tutorial. So here we are storing a double value, and also make sure that whatever the value, whatever the data type you are trying to store, make use of that particular set value here. So when you are trying for integer, you set int; for string, set string; and for double, set double here, boolean, string list, so on. So whenever you are having one or more strings, then here you can use a string list here, where you can add multiple strings and can store it to the string list element here. And now it's time for fetching the data. As we have discussed here, we have used the key values here. So with the help of same key values, we are trying to fetch the data here. So here 10, value of 10 is stored in this particular key value here. So we'll be calling the key value, and we will be fetching that particular value, and we will be trying to display to the user here. What if the case there is no value? For example, you have not stored any data and you are trying to fetch the data. So in that particular scenario, we will be getting a default value 0 here. So the same with all the different data types here, my double. So here we are trying to fetch the double value which we have stored in the above scenario. Here 3.14 we have stored. So if there is no value stored previously, that we will be fetching 0 point 0 here. The same with all the things like boolean, we will be fetching false, and string we will be returning an empty value, and for the string list also the same. And here you can see we have provided a log so that we will be printing all the values in the log here. And the final one is remove. So here whenever you want to remove a particular value, for example I want to remove this int value here, so you can just place the value here. We will be seeing in the output now. So now let us try to save the data. I am trying to save the data and the data is being saved, and now let us try to fetch the data. Here you can see we have saved 10 and all these values here, and when you are trying to fetch the data we have fetched all these values. So now what about the remove? I just want to remove the 10 value here. So now let us try to clear the data, and now here you can see we have got 10 value to be 0 here. Why? Because here we have cleared the value of 10 here by removing this particular key value from our list here. So in the same way you can clear all the fields in the shared preferences, and also you can update them. So I hope this example will make you understand easier how to make the shared preferences implementation in your Flutter application with different kinds of data types here. So the link for this tutorial is provided in the description section below, and also you may visit the previous tutorial on shared preferences. I have provided the link in the description section, and if you are having any queries, do let me know in the comment section. And if you like this tutorial, do like, share and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content on Flutter.